Hey everybody, welcome back to the third episode of the Crunch Time Show.
So obviously the Ravens have been playing some good football the last couple of weeks, but do you guys think it's enough to win the division?
I think they're definitely going to win the division. I think they have almost no competition in there. They have the Bengals, who suck, the Steelers, who suck, and the Browns, who are at best mediocre.
I think it's closer than you think. I think that the Browns are going to put up a really good fight this weekend. They're playing Baltimore in Baltimore, which is going to be a tough game.
Easy win for the Ravens.
I think it'll be closer than a lot of people think it will be. That's all I'm going to say.
I think the Browns have such a tough schedule through the next few weeks. I mean, they play the Patriots, they play the Cowboys, they play the Ravens. And so I think if they can even win 2 or 3 of those next games, then I think it's a total win for them. So if they can win a few of the next few games, then go on a hot streak later in the season, I think that it could be close at the end of the season.
But so far we're seeing Lamar Jackson as an MVP candidate through the first 3 weeks.
Yeah.
How is any team in the division going to counter that?
I mean, last week he played the Chiefs, they're not a great defense, but it's a better defense than what he's been seeing before. And he didn't have as good of numbers as he's been having.
Still good numbers.
But not what he was putting up before. And maybe when he plays like a defensive powerhouse, he might get shut down.
So do you expect him to just put up 300 yards every week?
No, but that's what people were thinking. He's not an MVP.
I think that if he plays even the way he played last week, throughout the whole season, I think they'll still win the division.
Yeah.
So who do you guys think is going to end up leading the league in receiving yards this year?
DeAndre Hopkins, no questions. Even though the Texans, they've had more receivers this year than they've had in a while, with the addition of Kenny Stills and they still have Will Fuller. But I still think DeAndre Hopkins is one of the most dominant wide receivers in the league, and I think he'll put up a ton of yards this year.
Well, if you're talking about the most dominant receivers in the league, you got to put in Julio Jones. He's had 1,400 receiving yards or more in the past 5 years. That's a crazy stat. Not even Jerry Rice did that. And so I think Julio Jones, once again, will lead the league in receiving yards.
I think Keenan Allen is going to end up leading the league in receiving yards, actually. He has over 350 yards through his first 3 games, and he has the Dolphins coming up this week, and that's going to be a big game for him. And I think he's just going to keep on having big games and keep being the #1 target for Phillip Rivers, and I think he's going to end up leading the league.
I think Devontae Adams is going to have a great year compared to last year. He's been going up every single year since his rookie year. He has a Hall of Fame quarterback, probably one of the best in the league right now. And he's a touchdown guy, but he's underrated when it comes to yards. He gets 20 yards per game, and he's the #1 target on the Packers, and no one even is close to him skill-wise.
All right, what about who's going to lead the league in rushing yards at the end of the season?
I'll go with Dalvin Cook. He's a solid running back for the Vikings. He got injured last year, and he missed a couple games, but now he's back, and he looks better than ever.
Yeah, he is getting a lot of carries.
I'm going to have to agree with Nick here, and I'm going to go Dalvin Cook also. I don't like the Vikings because I'm a big Packers fan, obviously, and I don't want him to have a good year, but I think he's going to end up having a great year. He was, I think, underrated coming into this year, and I think he really showed everyone how good he really is, and I think he's going to end up leading the league in rushing yards.
For me, it's Zeke. I mean, he gets so many carries already, and even though he started the season with a holdout, he's still on pace. He's the #5 running back in terms of rushing yards right now. I think with the Cowboys offense being able to pass the ball now under Kellen Moore, I think that Zeke will get even more opportunities running the ball, not against stacked boxes. So I think Zeke will lead the league in rushing yards.
I gotta agree with Nick and Blake. Dalvin Cook, his explosiveness this year has just been insane. No one's putting up anywhere close to the yards that he's putting up. I think he's surprised a lot of people. He's gonna continue to do that.
Of the undefeated teams after week 3, which ones are the best and which ones are the worst?
Bills are definitely the worst in my opinion. I think they haven't really played a good team yet. I think their defense is really good and solid, but Josh Allen, I still think he has some things he needs to prove to be a dominant quarterback in the league.
I think the best team is the Patriots, of course, and I think the worst team is the Lions. I think they're going to definitely lose next week, and I think the Patriots are going to keep up their winning streak until they play the Chiefs. I say the Chiefs will be their only loss this year.
Well, going off of the Chiefs, I think the Chiefs are the best undefeated team. They gave Bill Belichick a lot of problems in the second half of their AFC playoff game last year, and they already carved up a Ravens team that's actually really good. And so I think the Chiefs could be the best undefeated team right now.
I think their defense also needs... Their offense is obviously the best in the league in my opinion, but their defense, their secondary is a little bit shaky.
Yeah, it's going to be a great match when we see the Chiefs offense against that stacked Patriots defense. For the worst team, I think it's the 49ers. Their defense is dominant, but their offense is so inconsistent. And with so many injuries, they had the injury bug multiple years. So I think the 49ers are the worst undefeated team.
For the best for me, this is kind of biased, but I think the Packers are the best. I think they're kind of underrated coming into the season because, you know, they've never had a really consistent defense throughout the years.
Or running back.
Yeah, or run game. Yeah, we got a great run game this year with Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams. And our defense is doing great with Blake Martinez and Preston Smith. And I think this is their year to go farther in the playoffs than they've gone before in the past couple years. And I think the worst is definitely the 49ers. Like, they're not consistent at all, like you said. Their running back situation is just weird. They don't have that great of a quarterback. They signed him for like 6 years, and he's not doing that great. Of course, coming off injury, but he's not doing as great as everyone thought he would be. He's kind of overhyped coming into the season.
He does not look as good as he used to before his injury.
I do think almost all of the undefeated teams right now after week 3, I think they'll all go about 8 wins or higher. I think they're all pretty good teams.
Even the 49ers?
Yeah, the Bills.
I think both the 49ers and the Bills will be around 8-8, maybe higher.
Alright, so I'm going to give you guys each a piece of paper and a pen. And I'm going to ask all of you guys each to write down your Super Bowl prediction for this year. And once you're done, you're all going to turn them into me. I'm going to shuffle them around. And you guys are going to try to guess who picked who and why. Okay, so the first Super Bowl prediction that we have is Packers-Patriots. We're going to go down the row. I'm going to ask each of you who you think did it. Alright, so Nick, who do you think picked this one?
Blake definitely did that one. That's 100%.
Yeah, Nick.
I vote Nick. I was Nick.
Okay, now we have Patriots and Vikings.
Vikram.
Why?
Yeah, that was Vikram.
Why do you think Vikram chose?
Because Vikram overhypes every team, and you told me that the Vikings are going to win the division over the Packers. So that's definitely Vikram.
Okay, so our next one is the Cowboys versus the Chiefs. Who do you guys think picked that one?
I definitely think Jakey picked that one.
Blake, I think.
No, Blake.
I'm gonna go Jakey.
Nick, why do you think Jakey picked
Because
that?
Jakey's is that type of dude to pick an outlier for the NFC. Because you don't know much about the NFC, you're an AFC fan. So.
Alright. Okay, so our final one is the Green Bay Packers versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Who do you guys think picked this one?
Blake.
I think Jakey picked this one because he knows that the Packers are coming out of the NFC North, and he had the Chiefs coming out of the AFC.
Yeah, well, I know you like your high-powered offenses, buddy.
Yeah.
Alright, so now that we have all of our guesses in, we're going to talk about who actually chose which one. So, first we're going to talk about the heavily debated one, the Packers versus the Chiefs. And everyone seemed to think it was Blake, besides Blake, obviously. That was JP, but who actually chose this one?
I chose the Packers versus the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are the best team in the AFC, and I think the Packers are the best team in the NFC. It's simple.
This is an aspen. You can tell that it's an aspen tree because of the way it is.
Alright, so for the next one we had Packers-Patriots. So who chose this one?
I did. So I think the Packers are the best team in the NFC. I think they're gonna beat everyone in their division pretty easily. And then I think the best team in the league is still the Patriots, not the Chiefs. And I think they'll still come out of the AFC.
Alright, so now for the most surprising prediction, I think. We had the Patriots versus the Vikings. And the Vikings already lost to the Packers in week 2. And the Packers were put on 2 predictions already. So I want to know, what's your reasoning to the Vikings and who picked this?
That was me. The Patriots have a really good defense, and when you put that with Tom Brady, I think that can't be stopped. On the other hand, the Vikings have a really good run game this year, and in past years, they've had really good passing games. Plus, they have a really good defense. And so I think if the Vikings can put it all together, they'll be a legitimate contender in the NFC, and maybe take it all the way.
Alright, thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Crunch Time. Make sure to subscribe down below and follow our Instagram. And tune in next week for the next episode.
See ya!
I'm playing Mario Kart.
The topics real quick.
That's probably not a good video.
I'm sorry. I think we're just gonna cut it. So obviously the round.
Alright,
Wait, I'm at the last turn.
if someone says something,
Okay, so this is like recess the question. I think I got it.
I'm so confused.
It's so weird.
The Steelers suck. The Bengals suck. I think they're definitely going to win their division.
I disagree with that. I think the Browns. I don't think that the Ravens aren't going to win the division, but I think that. Oh, he just forgot.